Hello world, Alexandre Buckley here, and let's talk games. Now for today's retro throwback, we're going to go to one of my absolute favourite games of all time, WWF Smackdown. One of the most played games I've ever played on this console, and it was such a groundbreaking title at the time because, let's just get out of the way now. It's a pro wrestling game, so if you're into wrestling, this is going to be for you. If you're not, then I don't know what to say to you. But this game set the gold standard for wrestling games because you've just got so much in one game. So keep in mind, this is PlayStation 1. Yeah, we had so much in this game. You had look at the things you can do in this game. Bearing in mind how old this game is, it came out in 2000. So you had your standard one-on-one feuds you could do against a computer or against a second player. You could create a pay-per-view, your own pay-per-view you could create. You had a season mode, so you could take a character through a season, standard, career type mode there. You could create your own superstar, which is insane. And then you have as well belt records, so every time you won, the game would remember it and tell you who did what. And you had a ranking list as well, which I just find mental. Let's just look at the games you could do here. You could do a single match, a tag match, handicap battle, Royal Rumble, King of the Ring, hardcore, anywhere falls count anywhere, cage match, survival match, which is like a gauntlet, special referee, and an I Quit match. So you've got quite a lot there actually, quite a lot of variation into this. Considering it's such an old game. The ranking system is really interesting as well. So it actually gives us a few indications of how what I like about the ranking system. The ranking system tells you who's moving anywhere and where they're ranked overall. And the little green arrow is telling you where players are going to go, who's been moving up the rankings, who's been doing well. And just interesting, 36 characters, pretty good at the time considering. All the belts as well. And it's really interesting to go back and see. And what I really like here is the belt ranking ties in to the belt history, because you have like your world champion, as it said there, you have to be ranked between a certain position to even challenge for the belt. So the hardcore title, anyone between 1 and 20 could go for example, but if you wanted to go for the world title, you had to be between 1 and 5. So you have to win that many matches. It's really interesting that in a video game of wrestling, there's a ranking system, but in real life they just haven't been able to sort of grasp the concept of it, which I just find fascinating in itself. All of this game is just very, very fascinating. Even when they rate the matches, the game rate the matches. There's an audience rating for the matches. The computer was actually judging how well your matches were. It could also rate your pay-per-views. Just so much good content in this game. And you know what? This is what I find with modern wrestling games, is they try way too hard. Compared to what we have here, something really simple and really fun, they're trying way too hard. So, as you can see, you get a lot of options there, a lot of things to kill time. I'm going to do a match for you guys here. I'm going to do Rock vs Stone Cold. I haven't played this game probably since the year 2000, if I'm being honest, so I don't really remember anything. The standard settings will do. See if I can remember any of the controls. And, yeah, let's just see how we get on with the match. But you know what? Look at these intros. This was I remember this being a big thing at the time. Them playing the actual Titantron video of the wrestler, and then this really blocky figure coming out. And he would do the animation, so The Rock's going to do his animation that he would do in real life to get to the ring, but they'd animate him going to the ring without actually showing the ramp in the ring. If you're a wrestling fan, this was like a must-have title, and I'm pretty sure everyone had this game. What these guys did in our school, the older students, they actually just brought a PlayStation in and set up a business in the lunchroom, charging students on their break to play Smackdown. And they were running it as a business. They were writing down their profit, they were writing down how they charged people, how they managed it, they were getting feedback and reviews and stuff, which was just really funny that was someone's work experience. So it became a thing for about 2 weeks where everyone was queuing up in this lunchroom at lunchtime playing Smackdown. And they had a really simple system, because this game had a brutal KO system where essentially if you hit your finishing move, you were going to knock the person out. So they did that, and they set the game up like that, and they made a killing on it, because you'd play a game for probably like a minute, someone would get a finisher built up, they'd hit their finisher, and that'd be game over. So, but it was cool because you would be at school, your friends would be like, I'm really good at this game, and then you could actually go in, play this game against your friends, see how good you were, and it just made school a bit more interesting. But I also was quite entrepreneurial with these kids to take a game that was this hot at the time and then just be like, yeah, let's turn it into a business, let's see what we can do. Probably super illegal. School probably shouldn't have done that, but whatever. It is what it is. But good fun. I'm getting my ass kicked in this game, by the way, because these controls have not aged well at all. They are pretty super difficult. So I've just about... How'd you kick out? How'd you kick out? I've lost in the most boring match possible. Well, that's fun. So I'm going to try and do enough matches, see if I can do any better this time round. But right, let's just to go over the controls for you guys. From what I think I've gathered, I think triangle is run. It looks like the circle was grapple, and then like X was the kick or something. It's like, yeah, ain't the best controls in the world. It's not like today where you have like chains of combinations you can do left and right. It's sort of like you have a grapple button, you have a strike button, that's about it. So let's try something else. You know what I want to try, just to see what it looks like graphically now, because I imagine this looked good at the time, but I want to see how it's held up, is a cage match. I want to see how they render the cage, and I want to see how that all kind of comes across. We ain't going to do Rock and Stone Cold again, because Stone Cold beat me. We'll do someone else. We'll do Chris Jericho. Look at that face. What a face. And we will fight... Who else do we have on the roster here? Who else is good? I Love You can play as like Shane and Deborah and China straight out of the box. That's amazing. Jeff Hardy, another great face. So yeah, we'll see how the cage looks. Gonna get the entrances as well, which I'm also kind of interested in, to see how Chris Jericho's entrance comes across. You get the countdown, which is cool. And again, he's probably going to do that weird pose he does before coming out. I mean, come on, that's just cool. This game is just cool. That's the thing. I mean, I know it's extremely dated, but look at it. It just... The thing about wrestling games, which I think the modern games haven't got, is the closer it gets to the fun parts of wrestling, the sort of spectacle of wrestling, the better and the more fun the game actually is. It's really that simple. Like, I remember this game being fun, and this game's fun now just because it's like, it's not too serious. It's just a good sort of arcadey fighting game. Granted, I wish the controls were a bit simpler, but it looks cool, the sounds are cool, the character models are great, you can tell who they're meant to be. I'm still trying to work out how to grapple, but yeah, I love it. This cage is very interesting. And I'll tell you what hasn't aged well with this cage, is the way the camera's going in and out of the cage, kind of blocking the screen. That's not aged very well. That's almost awful. But it's pretty cool. What I remember about this game, actually, thinking about this, going back in my memory, things like the cage match, you couldn't get out of the cage. So you were in a cage and you just basically had to climb over it. You can do the Walls of Jericho without a finisher. That's interesting. I'd imagine that would be his finisher, but it's not. Okay, fine. So yeah, this game at the time was massive. And how do you stop people climbing cages? Oh, you just kick the cage. Fine. The thing about it is it had such a great roster on it. This came out at the height of wrestling's popularity. There was no game at the time that was as good as this, that felt as fun as this, that felt as real as this. And it was pretty... I mean, I'm not doing well at it now, but it's pretty simple to master. It was very basic controls, which I'm struggling to do now because they're quite dated. But I remember everyone was able to pick this up and play pretty easy when they were younger. And this obviously spawned a massive series, the Smackdown series, which turned into the Smackdown v Raw series, and now the sort of WWE 2K series, because the studio that made this, THQ and Yerkes, have gone sort of... They've gone, basically. They've gone bust, so you can't actually... They don't make the games anymore. It's now made by 2K. But yeah, one of my favourite wrestling games, my favourite games on the PlayStation of all time, as I lose another match. And I thought it would be a good throwback to have a look at this to see what good value this was. That's going to do it for this one, guys. So if you like the video, please hit the like button. And once again, I'd really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to the channel to help me grow. And that's going to do it for this one, guys. So I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.